This is the father of Yuichiro Hanma and grandfather of BAKI and Jack. His name is Yuichiro, and Tokikawa refers to him as a real monster. During World War II, he was on this island fighting the American military on his own, forcing them to use over 1,000 tons of ammunition, including bombings from the sky and these various boats, which you see here, there is an insane amount of them, failing to stop this monster, or for what we see, even damage him, forcing the American military to consider the use of a nuke on a single person in Japan. Here is the entire story and everything you need to know about Yuichiro Hanma from BAKI. He appeared after both Yujiro and BAKI revealed their demon backs in their wild fight. The ogre, like everyone else, was left stunned by his ghost-like appearance. Have we ever seen Yujiro make a face like this? He proceeds to question his father about why he's here. The anime makes it seem like Yujiro is more so scared, while the manga more so enraged. This is due to the intensity of the speech bubbles here. However, what Yuichiro states remains the same. He is both surprised and saddened that Yujiro is struggling in this fight, or as the manga states, fighting against a child, yet you still have so much trouble, which for a change is someone actually talking shit to Yujiro rather than the other way around. This is pretty much the narrative based reasoning for Yuichiro being the strongest, but context about him as a character is very important to consider. Mainly him being the exact opposite of Yujiro in every way, and the father-son relationship the Hanma family seems to have. When it comes to feats and showings, he was on this small island that was hit with over 1,000 tons of ammunition. This includes bombings from the sky and sea, showing no damage sustained at all, and him destroying the American military, attacking them with one technique, that being dress, using their bodies as a weapon to just chuck them around like bullets, destroying them all, then continuing to attack the boat with his demon back activated, resulting in such immense fear from the entire crew that they jumped overboard. Unfortunately, some of this was actually cut from the anime, mainly him throwing the bodies around and taking them out. Regardless, without a doubt, this is one of the most impressive feats throughout the entire BAKI-verse. Take note, a nuke was never dropped. They almost did, however, meaning Yuichiro was such a threat they considered even nuking him. When it comes to the technique that he used, that is something Yujiro even has respect for, claiming that it was really strong, or something that he's proud of, so much so that he wanted to test it out and pretty much show BAKI what it was. However, all this is good, but there is one thing that may put Yuichiro down quite a bit. In Doppo Orochi's side manga, we see him encounter the demon and land a kick. This actually results in Yuichiro to claim he broke his jaw with this kick. Of course, this is a much younger and weaker Doppo compared to the main series. This is proven by the spin-off itself and various material in the main manga that I covered in this video. But the purpose of this scene was mainly to highlight that even though Yuichiro doesn't like to show it, but he's glad that there's some people out there who know how strong he really is and what he's truly capable of. He's mentioned in the crossover chapter between Kengan and BAKI, and now once again he has appeared in the most recently released spin-off manga for Shiba. In chapter 3, it's quite strange. We see these YouTubers, not me, but we see these YouTubers who's talking about the channel which features them sucker punching people and how their next target for views is Shiba. And then out of nowhere, one of the two people who runs the channel says this: "There is no one who can handle a surprise attack. There was once a lone judoka, Hanma Yuichiro." Yes, this is him in the most recently added BAKI spin-off manga, where we pretty much get them talking about what occurred in chapter 1 of Doppo spin-off, where he had his fight against a wrestler which he threw for most likely money, not really caring, not having all the pride. Them talking about this, which of course isn't anything new, apart from them confirming that it was later revealed to be a hoax that wasn't really what happened. Yuichiro pretty much threw the fight. This is of course thanks to Doppo Orochi, as we saw in the paper in the final panel. And to understand more about his character, consider this. Yujiro reveals that his father is completely different to himself, to a degree that they're extreme opposites of each other. Some examples mentioned include outlook on life, how to live life, and techniques they use. This makes the fight interesting in more than one way by providing some insight to who Yuichiro is as a character. Right after Yuichiro disappeared, we see Yujiro with a somewhat happy face saying that was real nostalgic, I had almost forgotten his face, and explain the whole situation of Yuichiro and him being opposites of each other. So if you're really going to use that scene as your reasoning for Yuichiro winning this fight, I guess good for you, but let's talk about something more fun now. Yuichiro is labelled as a judo master, however he only uses one technique, that being dress, or I guess guise as its real name. Yuichiro labels it as one damn strong technique that's worthy boasting about, with this single technique being the one he used to defeat the USA. We see it here looking like he's blocking bullets with a soldier's body, pretty badass. This move is like using your opponent as a nunchuck, making it look like you're surrounded by a dress with how fast it's moving, turning your opponent into a weapon that you kinda destroy yourself, pretty wild. And that's really all we know about Yuichiro. So I'll say it now, I do think Yujiro wins this fight and is stronger as a whole, but let me explain why. Yujiro is stated to have eclipsed all of the past fighters before him, this should include Yuichiro. He knows the one move Yuichiro uses and is a master of it himself. Very early in the series it's confirmed that he continues to grow stronger at an insane rate. His technique arsenal is far more impressive, including potentially having mastered every martial art in the world. Some OP techniques we've seen him use include Zhao Li, Bender, and even Imagination. We don't have a solid way to argue which one is faster or stronger, apart from feats, which of course goes to Yujiro. Regardless, before we cut into Yuichiro's flashback, he tells BAKI the following: make sure you win, which gives BAKI the drive to continue fighting and not give up like he was questioning to before. But the question is, how strong does this short scene imply Yuichiro is? One thing to mention is Pickle's reaction to this situation. This is very clearly a sign of fear, not whatever Yujiro's facial expressions were. We can gather a few explanations for this. Pickle seeing a ghost would most likely mind break him more than any others considering who Pickle is. But also remember, Pickle is someone who views various fighters of the current age in reference to dinosaurs as a way to compare them and gauge them. Being scared of only a wasp, which he sees from Jack when he had the setup to kill Pickle, but even in that scene there, Pickle was kinda straight-faced gang, and he kinda saw this wasp's bug-like creature when fighting Musashi. But this reaction here is much different to all others we've seen from Pickle throughout the series. Whatever Pickle sees from Yuichiro could very well be scarier and more powerful than anything he's ever experienced before. But do take note, we don't really know anything about this because we didn't get Pickle's perspective in this scene. But yeah, something I noticed and wanted to talk about quickly. BAKI comments on his wide shoulders and is very clearly shaking from Yuichiro's presence alone. Yujiro as well, even though he's angry for a short portion of this, allows Yuichiro to say and do whatever he wants. Something quite out of character for someone like Yujiro. Based on what we do know, which is quite limited, I do not believe he's stronger than the ogre. However, looking at the fandom's, I guess, headcanon, the narrative of Yuichiro, and what is likely the case if we had to give him a fair go, he probably belongs in Demon Back tier at the very least. Some people like to say he's stronger than Yujiro. Nothing in the story proves that in any way. It's just headcanon, as I just mentioned. To be fair, I think he is insanely strong and a true monster. He has the demon back himself. The hype he got from Tokugawa is around top tier alongside his feats during the war, meaning he's without a doubt a top tier that I hope gets more revealed about him in the future of the story.